Donald Trump, you a dirty old devil.
That seemed to be an underlying theme of, and this is just me speculating here as an adult, where they would
One of
try
the
to get these
whistleblowers.
affluent people in all of these positions of power and influence to come participate in these parties where all of these things were going on, so that, if Clarence Thomas, I'll just use him, if he was there at the party, well then surely nothing, that nefarious could be going
Clarence
on type
Thomas.
of situations.
Yeah.
So it seemed to be very well thought out how they kind of did things, but as the party wound down, that's when people in my position would really begin to get scared, because that's when either we're going to get assaulted and maybe really busted up, or, even watching somebody die is really
They were sacrificing kids.
Did you see
And
anyone
Clarence
else
Thomas
die
was there.
besides Samantha and Patricia?
Yes.
Yes.
Samantha.
I watched a
Patricia.
grown man get beaten to death. He had done something that pissed off the people that were running it, and they killed him. I saw another girl, in addition to Patricia, when I was making the film with the girl, they came in and shot her while we were having sex. That was some sort of snuff film.
Yeah.
And then in the brothel, there were two people that got killed. Sarah killed herself, and then a girl, I don't remember her name, she was shot and killed, and then another girl was also shot and killed.
Okay. And all of these...
Remember,
no, go ahead.
me and Samantha having to clean up. We didn't have to do anything with the body, but I can remember me and Samantha had to clean up the blood and everything from both Sarah's suicide, which was an assisted suicide. Samantha actually shot Sarah, but Sarah wanted her to do it. She could pull the trigger herself. So that's just, so Samantha did it. I was in the room when she did it. But it wasn't a murder. Samantha didn't murder her. Sarah I can remember her just saying, I can't go to another party. I can't be here. Please.
Another of the victims, I don't know if you've read about, the British woman, Sarah Ransom, was on the Epstein Island and tried to swim off the island and was willing to drown than go through another.
Wow.
Yeah. Torture. I mean, it's some horrible, horrible shit.
Yeah.
And, I can remember the hillbillies that my dad sold me to when I was small. They were mean. But I can remember the meanest motherfuckers are those rich people. They are just demonic.
That's what that little girl.
Yeah. Well,
she said that another little girl
so with the rich
was crying and screaming, and she was unalive. Y'all remember that?
With the Epstein Trump trafficking ring, and you said to me you thought Trump ran things with Epstein. Is that true?
Oh yes, he was not just a client. He was one of the people that facilitated all that stuff. It was almost like, and this is just my childhood brain piecing it together. It was almost as if Epstein worked for Trump, and not just Trump, but him and maybe 6 or 8 other super rich guys. So
do you remember
Epstein ran it at the behest of Trump and that circle of people. So it was just I couldn't tell you how many people, but he was the only one that I remember that was at that level. But it wasn't that, not just a client. He was one of the people that facilitated all that stuff. It was almost like, and this is just my childhood brain piecing it together. It was almost as if Epstein worked for Trump, and not just Trump, but him and maybe 6 or 8 other super rich guys. So Epstein ran it at the behest of Trump and that circle of people. So it was just I couldn't tell you how many people, but he was the only one that I remember that was at that level. But it wasn't that Trump was a John visiting, Epstein's empire of child victims. It was Trump was in a position above Epstein. It was as if Epstein worked for Trump.
So it was worse.
Yeah. And the
That
rest
brothel.
of them ultra rich guys.
Hotel brothel.
Do you remember?
Like he ran that ring for
Yeah.
them.
No, I understand. So Jeffrey was sort of presented publicly as the ringleader of the pedophile ring, but Jeffrey was basically behaving like a general manager of the ring. And then there was 7 or 8 other individuals, such as Trump, that were actually actively running the ring, micromanaging, telling Jeffrey what to do.
He would give Epstein that caliber of person, because it wasn't just Epstein. Epstein had people that worked with him too on a lower level that would go like find runaways and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they got the people. I can't say that, but it was this whole thing was being run as for those rich people.
Yeah. I want to ask some more questions in terms of your sense of like the demonic. Some of the advisor work I've done, some of my
whistleblower
own specifics of law enforcement. I've come into contact.
And this is in the Epstein files.
I'm familiar with a lot of really horrific horror stories that involve Satanists, occult practitioners, theistic Satanists. I've spoken to folks that were able to get out of the theistic Satanist cults. A lot of the torture techniques you describe are similar to theistic Satanist torture techniques. Sexual torture, human trafficking, human cannibalism, and what I wanted, what's your sense in terms of these parties that what do you remember? Like, was there any overt? I know a lot of the attendees presented themselves as Christians, but their practices are full-blown demonic, satanic.
Absolutely.
Do you have the sense that any of them were actually secretly practicing any sort of occult rituals, or were they just like rich, fiendish, fake Christians that just didn't experience a conscience?
I think it's the latter, just rich, fake Christians. I can tell you one thing specifically that Trump did, and that I remember vividly. I was exhausted. I couldn't fight back, and he sat on my chest and would choke me until I was unconscious. And each time that he did it, he'd say, "I'm going to kill you." So, and then he would choke me until I was out.
Oh, wow.
He did that, half a dozen times or however many times. And I can remember him saying, "I thought I killed you that time. I'm really going to do it this time," and then choke me again. So he would just do that over and over again until he got bored of it. So
did you get the sense that he was trying to kill you, or just
that's also what Ghislaine Maxwell said about the
in the moment you think you're going to die.
Prime Minister.
That's the experience that he wants to see the fear in another human being's eyes that he's killing them,
Yeah.
But looking back, I just think he was just torturing me. I don't think.
That's a part of their ritual.
He
that adrenaline,
kept choking me
blood.
I was gone, because I did get choked until I was unconscious. I don't know, as many as half a dozen times, maybe more.
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing that he would do, or worse. I believe, I wouldn't swear to this, but I believe that on that instance, my dad had told him, "Hey, you can't bust him up, you can't break stuff." didn't break bones or anything. But, you know, obviously I had bruising around my neck and different bruises on my body, and that's something else too.
A kid.
That I'm just remembering right now as I'm talking to you. At least one instance, the school nurse got CPS involved, I believe, in both Tennessee and Alabama because of the bruises that I showed up to school with.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, my parents just said, hey, he's clumsy, you know, he fell out of a treehouse, or whatever excuse they gave, you know. But it was looked into, but obviously nothing materialized from it.
Okay. So, let me see. Can I call you back in about 10 minutes?
Sure.
Recording set. You know, I want to get into a file folder and get some duplicates, and then I'll call you back, okay?
The President of the United States. This is horrible. Sascha, the whistleblower.